In Louisiana, there is a city with the population of around 400,000 people, known as New Orleans. The city was founded in 1718 by French colonists and is known for its distinct jazz music, which you can hear just walking around the French Quarter, its unique dialect, its beautiful French architecture, and its annual celebration of Mardi Gras. The downfall for the city is its location, which is a very low elevation of 1 to 2 feet below sea level, but in some parts of the city, it's as low as 7 feet below sea level. Since the city's elevation levels are so low, it's very easy to flood, even from a good downpour of rain. What I want to inform you of today is the catastrophic event that happened to the city of New Orleans and that they are still feeling the effects of today. America knows the story, but as new world issues arrive on the news, it seems as if we forget. The source I've used to find this information is Wikipedia. In 2005, a tropical storm formed in the Bahamas on August 23rd, then made its way to Florida. On August 25th, the storm strengthened into the form of a Category 5 hurricane in the Gulf Shore of Mexico, then making contact with the ground again on August 29th as a Category 3 hurricane in New Orleans, known as Hurricane Katrina. The storm caused 23 breaches in the drainage canal and navigation canal levees and flood walls. By August 31st of that same year, 80% of New Orleans was flooded, with some parts being under 15 feet of water. If you were one of the many people watching the news during this period of time, you would have seen where many people in the city had to stand on their roofs to get away from the water since it was so high. Between 80 and 90% of the residents were able to evacuate the city before the hurricane hit, but many were not able to leave. Reasons being, they had no way of transportation of their own, or they did not hear about the hurricane coming from the government. The aftermath of the hurricane caused 1,464 fatalities. The damage cost was $70 billion. Many people were able to see the damages on the news or in the paper or online. But I was lucky to be able to understand the seriousness of the situation at a young age. After Hurricane Katrina hit, my mom and dad decided to move our family to a neighboring town of New Orleans called Metairie. My dad had a construction business, so he was able to work on many houses that were affected by the hurricane. I was able to go into some of these houses. I remember I was shocked when I saw the water lines on the walls almost reach the ceilings. One day we drove into the 9th Ward, which is a region of New Orleans. Here's a photo of the 9th Ward. As you see the photo, you think that it's just rectangles and squares, but the sad reality is that it is the roofs of houses that are being almost completely submerged in water. It was like a ghost town the day we drove through because no one was living there anymore. As we were driving through, we also saw some spray painted markings on the houses. The Washington Post has an article informing us of what these markings are. These markings are called search codes, which were made by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. The markings were X's with letters and numbers in each quadrant. The left side indicated which rescue team showed up. At the top indicated what time the team showed up. Moving clockwise towards the right told us what hazards and horrors were inside the house. And at the bottom was a number saying how many people were in the house, dead or alive. In conclusion, even now, 13 years later, there are still houses abandoned and there are certain parts of New Orleans that will never be the same after the hurricane. As each day goes by and there are new horrific events that take place in America, we should strive not to forget the loss that New Orleans felt and that they are still remembering to this day.